Welcome to episode 2 of Hey Past That. We are going to be having a new intro song pretty soon, because that one's, I don't feel like it's up to par for as fucking cool as we are. So, yeah, that one's got to be updated. So, anyways, we're back here with Officer Daniels.
Hello.
So, yeah, we're doing a damn thing.
I really like your bar that you just ripped off. It's not up. What was it? It's
up
not
to par.
It was so good. It just fleeted my mind.
Yeah. So we'll go over.
For as good as we are, it's not up to par.
Oh, you got your own bars.
That was yours.
Oh. I didn't even know I rhymed.
Lil Wayne over here. I made that? Hold on. I made that? Shit.
Lil Wayne has epilepsy too.
Does he really?
Yes, he does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he doesn't write any of his own shit. Or he writes his own shit, but he doesn't like write it. He just like does it, and then like someone else has to write it down for him, like while he's doing it.
Well, they'll play a little section of the music, like dun 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 dun, and then he'll go in and be like, "I'm smoking my weed," and then they'll stop it and then play the next one. And he's like, "I ain't smoking my weed. That's all that I need." And they're like, "Oh, bars next," and then they just clip it all together.
Yeah, he's pretty dope.
It's meticulous. Yeah,
it's a brain and I don't know why he has epilepsy. But I know he's had it for a long time. But
interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, I tried to learn from last week's experience and have some notes.
There you go.
That weren't just like a goddamn nutcase. It just had like papers to flip through.
Okay. All right. I like it.
So.
Well, here's to episode 2. Cheers.
Yeah, here's to episode 2. Here, let me switch this shit the fuck out.
You
so,
cigarette?
Oh my god. Ew. Okay. So, yeah, and I pushed record, right? Yes, I pushed record.
And your levels are tracking?
Yep, my
You're
levels
not muted.
Nope, I'm not muted.
All
Everybody
right,
can hear the desktop audio and yeah. Yay!
Well, look at you.
Yay. Learning as I go. Okay, so I figured we'd go over kind of what kind of happened last week and some of the predictions.
Okay.
So first was Thursday night football, where I said that the Steelers were going to find some kind of fucking way to win against Tennessee. And that is what happened. They pulled a rabbit out of their helmet.
Ooh.
And made a crazy comeback. But you gotta chalk it up to Tennessee refused to fucking run the ball against the Steelers' horrendous rushing defense when they have Derrick Henry. Like, one of the rules of, I would say, the NFL, or a key to winning a football game is to get the ball in your best player's hands.
Yes. But is King Henry more of a down your throat, downhill running, or is he kind of like get him out in space and let him get some speed? Because if he is the get him out in space, let him get some speed, Watts on the end will wreak havoc on those sweep plays, on anything, the pitches. They're kind of forced to go straight down the gut with it, and I don't think Henry's the best at going straight in it. Like he's a freight train. Once he gets speed, oh shit, watch out. But if you can stop him early, okay. I am proud. I have Johnson on my fantasy league.
Yeah.
And it was his first touchdown in since
I think it was like 13 games
it
or
was
some shit.
And he's been out for a while, so the numbers skewed. But I was really happy to see. I think he put up 22-something points. And,
yeah.
You know,
I was happy game.
With it. I think he put up 20% of my total points.
Yeah, it was the last touchdown the Steelers scored. They actually went for a 2-point conversion rather than just kicking the field goal to be up by 3.
Okay.
Which would just push the line, and the 2-point converting made them up by 4, so that covered the line. But if they didn't get it, then they wouldn't have covered the line at all. So it was a big gamble by Tomlin.
Okay, so if he misses, they go over. If
he kicks the field goal and doesn't go for the 2-point conversion, then he's up by 3, pushing the spread.
And what does that mean, pushing the spread?
Pushing the spread means that the spread, they're supposed to win by 3, meaning that it's a draw, like you just get your money back, you don't win nor lose.
Okay.
But because the line was Pittsburgh -3. But if he doesn't get but because he decides to go for a 2-point conversion, if he doesn't get it, he's only up by 2, meaning they don't cover the 2-point spread, and you lose the bet even if they win. So, but since they got it, they won by 4, and theoretically they shouldn't have won by 4. They should have only won by 3 because there was no. The safer play was for him to kick the field goal and to be up by 3, but he was like, "Fuck it! If you're gonna
I got money
beat
on
me,
this game."
Yeah, yeah, like I gotta cover this shit." Or
that's interesting. That seems to be happening a lot, where they're making kind of out of character calls.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was one of those things like now a field goal, if they wouldn't have made it, a field goal would have beat them in the game. It was very risky of a call by Tomlin. But, I mean, Tomlin is that kind of coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, but yeah, so I was right on my Thursday night prediction.
Good.
And then the next one was...
Can we hear it?
Oh, yeah. Beep, beep, beep. And so then the next one was Baltimore versus Seattle. The public was heavy on Seattle because Geno Smith and them, Lockett and Metcalf, they've been playing really well. But you know who else has been playing really well? Baltimore. And I think they've been flying under the radar, and no one has been seeing that. And so, so they didn't just cover the 5.5 points. They beat the ever-living shit out of Seattle.
It was a blowout. Sure.
It was a 37-3 final score.
Insane.
Yeah, it was they put in a how not to play football tutorial for Seattle.
Doing your looking at highlights and research, was there any stat that jumped out at you? Like, was Lamar more active? What was their method of victory? How did they just
They spread the
spank 'em
ball.
so
They
bad?
spread the ball out. Even Odell Beckham Jr. got his first touchdown of the season.
Okay.
They were just they spread the ball out massively. Obviously, Seattle just couldn't get the ball rolling. Baltimore's defense is stout. In honesty, like they have.
And there, Edwards was one of the only running backs to get over 100 yards, right? Like, it was a bad week for running backs. And
Right.
Edwards and who's the other one? Hill?
Maybe. I don't know I don't remember right off the top of my head who their running backs are. I know that Baltimore got quite a few sacks. Kyle Van Noy got 2 sacks in a row.
Nice.
And then Geno Stone sacked Geno Smith.
Mm.
And he got his 6th interception of the season, which is he's leading the league in interceptions in Baltimore. So
Do you think Pete Carroll's in the tank race for the number one out of the cream of the crop that's coming out? Because I heard
you mean Geno Smith?
Yeah, to replace Geno and put in
Yeah,
Hall of
Pete
Famer.
Carroll has no qualms about replacing a quarterback.
So do you think he took a dive and he was like, yeah, this is a good game to just fuck around?
No, because Seattle's been playing really good.
What's the record? Do you know?
Yeah, I can tell you.
They're still in the playoff hunt?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
I have it right here.
Well, Carroll has to walk that line.
Damn it. Oh, this is the old stuff. That's why I don't have it written down.
Okay.
No, I don't. But
they're
still in the hunt. Like, they were, like, top of
So it was just a bad game for them.
And they're in the NFC. So the NFC blows.
Okay.
So it's not like they're in the AFC. It doesn't take much. And this wasn't Steelers are in the AFC, so that it's not like this game really fucking matters as much as it would if it was a, NFC game.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was
How many units did you put on it?
Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry, I was thinking that they played Pittsburgh. I was looking at the wrong team. I only put 1. I put 1 across the board on most things because...
You had mentioned that you wanted to clarify what your
Oh, yes, I
unit
do want
range
to
is.
clarify a unit. I did this during the live commentary as well.
Okay.
But in case anybody missed it...
But more to the point of what your units
Yes.
are, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
I did clarify, but units are just what you bet and how you clarify what your bet size is. When I say a unit, I want everybody to understand this. When I say a unit, y'all, I mean $1. I'm not out here betting hundreds and thousands or even $10, $100. I'm betting $1. That's a unit size for me.
Why don't you bet larger units, or what is your reasoning behind just putting $1?
Because that's all I can afford to lose.
Okay.
Like, I have an allotted amount that I set out at the beginning of the sports season, that this is what I am allowed to use for the entirety of the sports season.
So in a way, you're managing your bankroll?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Because this shit can get out of control for somebody. And then you start doing what's called chasing your losses. And what's chasing your losses is you lose a game and then you start like, oh, well, shit, let me try to get that win. Let me try to get that money back by betting on this game. Well,
so do you figure a certain percentage? Like if someone's just starting out, what's a good rule of thumb for them deciding how many units and what units to wager? Do you do a percentage for your bankroll?
I would say don't wager more than like 1% on any given game.
Okay.
Like, because crazy shit can happen. I've seen 3 touchdowns be scored in the last 60 seconds of a game. You know, I've seen everything happen in any given sport. So literally, don't bet I would never bet all of it on something. One.
So if someone's starting out and they have $50, they shouldn't wager more than $5 on a.
Right, and that's 10% right there.
Right.
And that, I mean, think about it. That's 10%. If you're wagering 10%, you only got 10 bets.
Right.
That's a weekend. Like, they'd be gone for a weekend. Like, $50 is like a whole season for me, and I'm betting $1.50 and stuff until I get it up to, you know, a few $100s, and then I'm gonna move into the $5 ranges. Because if you're thinking if you're going to be sports betting in the serious term of it, you should be thinking long term, not short term.
Well, even on a good weekend, you're only running, 60%, 70% of your bet?
If you can consistently maintain 60 or 70%, you're doing better than you're doing that's professional percentages.
Well then, what can I say? I wonder how I did do. Did you
I didn't write down your shit. Like, I barely had my shit. Like, I can't keep up with my own fucking self.
I know.
Like, I have somebody that's like, did you eat today? Yeah. Okay. So, I was right on the Baltimore prediction because I'm a fucking boss. All right. All right.
Well, I'm going to assume if you were right, I was wrong.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes, like, just because you say that that's the line, like, we need to, like, clarify because sometimes, like, we just need to write it down this time. We're learning.
But you normally use me as the metric stick of what not to do. Oh, Scott thinks or Officer Daniels thinks it's good to...
Well, you know, just to clarify, you were like, when I brought up the Miami game, you were like, oh, I think Miami's going to whoop their ass. And I was like, I agree. And then Miami got their ass whooped by KC. I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have agreed.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh, God, never agree with the police. I'm just saying. No. All right. So, you know, Baltimore's playing Cleveland next, and that's one of the games that we're going to talk about. You know, so that'll be interesting. I think that's an interesting matchup, the Ravens versus the Browns. They're both kind of coming into their own. Deshaun Watson being back.
They might be the most overhyped team currently.
The Browns?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that. Save it. All right, so then another one that I predicted was Cincinnati versus the Bills. I went with the Bengals. You remember when the Bengals started the season 1-3?
Yes.
And they pulled off a crazy ass U-turn.
Yep.
Well, so now they are 5-3. They've gone 4 and
Let's go,
in
Birds.
their last 4 crazy as big. Yeah, they've just pulled it off. Yeah, it looks fucking great. They've their competition has not only have they gone 4-0, but they've gone against the Bills, beat the Bills. They've beat San Francisco. Before that, San Francisco's a top 5 offense, and they're holding these teams to under 20 points or less per game. So they're playing Houston next. It's gonna be yeah.
San Francisco is in the middle of an implosion, so I don't give that too much weight.
Okay.
But it's good to see Higgins kind of a little bit more active. I saw that he was questionable and there's still some issues. So if they can keep everyone, I think they're the most fragile team. Because if if Burrows goes down, if Chase goes down,
this is Lucy McGoosey the higher foot.
Even if Mixon goes down, they're in for it.
Yeah. You think that who's in for it?
Cincinnati. That they are so close to not being great that if any little thing goes wrong, their season's over.
The Bengals?
Yes.
But they just beat the Bills.
The Bills aren't showing up either. I think Bills are overhyped. I think Browns are overhyped.
Oh, well, I can't wait to talk about the Houston game then. This is interesting. All right, so, well, I mean, I predicted Cincinnati beat the Bills. So that was that one. The Bills just couldn't get their running game going at all. So then another one was Washington over New England. Washington got a big lead out, 10-0. And then the Patriots looked like they were going to get a classic comeback when they mustered 17 points. And it was 17-10. And then they
fizzled.
And Washington come back with 10 unanswered. And they lost 20-17. So
Howell is quietly getting some recognition on the field, but not off of the field. Meaning it seems like the critics and the fans aren't really praising how good Howell is competing for the spot.
He's been consistent in fantasy league. I looked at him because I needed a backup quarterback because I had Fields and Golf.
Mm-hmm.
And Fields is hurt, and then Golf was on bye, so I was in a tough spot. So I dropped Fields and picked up Howell, and it was the week to do it because I felt like that he was going to be good against New England. And he put up like 38 points or some shit.
Nice.
So, yeah, I felt like Washington, because there was a stat that they kept on spouting that Washington was 0-4 against New England. But Washington, New England doesn't play very often. They're in two different division. One's NFC, one's AFC. So, when, how often have they played each other over the last decade?
Well, there was the other upset between, wasn't it like KC played Denver 13 times or something? They had a 13 lead on them.
Right.
So it was a week for. It was one of those weeks where the public was upset.
Yeah. The tides are starting to turn. Injury bugs are starting to get to teams.
Mm-hmm.
So Miami broke my heart. And KC won in Frankfurt, Germany. And
poor Andy Reid should have went out there a little bit sooner. Didn't he show up like 2 days before or something? He was like, "Yeah, that's what we did 7 years ago.
Right.
That's what we'll do again."
It seemed to work again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Miami just could not get their offense going at all. I mean, just at all. It looked like they were going to mount a comeback.
Didn't Daniel make a joke that McDaniel make a joke that they had been there so long that he was starting to speak German?
Yes,
or something
he
like
did. He went into a press conference saying "Guten Tag."
That?
Guten Tag. But you know what they did the whole time is that there was news articles that he was doing like a whole bunch of like team bonding exercises and shit. Well, maybe they should have done some team bonding while they were practicing. Like, maybe y'all shouldn't have done some hand-holding fucking trust falls. Maybe y'all should have been doing some fucking passing.
Right.
And fucking run plays and shit. Because the fucking struggling-ass Chiefs, y'all should have blown them out of the fucking water, you dickheads.
Well, they were able to shut down Kelsey.
Oh, well, that's just because Taylor wasn't there, which brings me to my next point. Sports Illustrated came out with a statistic because they did shut down Kelsey because he was only targeted 4 times and had 3 receptions for 14 yards. So that prompts Sports Illustrated to come out with the article showing that when Taylor is there, Kelsey averages 108 yards a game. When Taylor is not there watching her bow, he averages 41 yards a game.
Has the NFL contracted her just for KC games, or in the contract does she go to away games as well?
I don't know, but hold on, the plot thickens.
Oh, stir it.
So, the fans are now beginning to chatter on social media.
Swifties or NFL fans?
NFL fans.
Okay.
Are beginning to chatter. Let me find out this man cannot play without Taylor there. And another thing, he'll never be Gronk.
Oh.
So,
those are fighting words.
Bad news for Chiefs fans.
Well, are they going to release a schedule of games where she'll be in attendance?
Bad news for Chiefs fans. Taylor's international world tour begins Thursday. She will be in Buenos Aires and then heading to Brazil. She will miss the next few games.
Well, Kelsey is the real superstar. And he's going to come back and he's going to show, hey, Swifties ain't shit without me. It's not the other way around. So here's to a couple good weeks, and
Here's
We
to
don't need that
hoping
curse.
we're gonna find out if that man's in love or not.
How so?
Because can he play without her? I mean, maybe she's watching on TV. I mean, what if she's not? I mean, does she care? Is this real for her? I believe it's real for me and him. I mean, like, do you think it's real for him?
So which one proves it? If he does good without her in attendance, or if he doesn't do, which one shows that he really loves her?
I think if he plays like shit, he's just enthralled with it.
Oh, well then.
I think
fuck love. That's all I gotta say.
I'm not like for it or not for it. I'm saying that's him. Like if he's in his feelings about this, like he's like that's what he's thinking. Like, I mean, is this real for her? Or is this about the Super Bowl?
Oh, so you think whenever she's not there, he's on the field, like, I wonder if her and Ryan are talking, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, like he just showed up to, why was he here?
Okay. Well. Oh, love is such a wicked thing.
And she was the one that...
He needs to look up to the stands and see her.
She was the one that sang that song about being crazy after a month.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
My milkshake brings all the boys.
No, come on. No, my...
Okay.
Fuck, hang on. What is the name of that song? Taylor.
There's that one that was like really wordy. It was "Don't piss me off, or I'm gonna put our business out on blast, and everyone's gonna know what you did last summer." That was a banger. I think she came out with that in like 2015.
Oh, Blank Space. She sang Blank Space. This one, look at it. Nice to meet you, Ray Band. I could show you incredible things. You look like my next mistake.
Okay, yeah.
You know what that one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, like basically, like after a month, I'm gonna be crazy, screaming and crying, perfect storms. Oh yeah, I'll be that girl for a month. Wait, the worst is yet to come.
Oh wow. Hey. Here's the Swifties. Yeah. I'm very seasonal.
I have a long list of ex-lovers. They'll tell you I'm insane.
So she's about to destroy this kid's career, this man's career.
Yeah, they're the same age. They're both in their early 30s. Because I believe he made her a friendship bracelet. Like, have you heard the story?
Yeah.
Like, I believe that.
No part of me believes this is real.
You don't even believe it's real on his side?
No.
Oh, God.
Or it might be real in the like, hey, we're going to do this thing, and he can't detach himself from it. So in his mind, he's really dating Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
In Taylor Swift's mind, she's getting a bag.
Oh, I guess we'll find out, because he's played like shit when she ain't there.
Well,
I mean, that's a true stat.
As long as she's back for playoffs.
The numbers don't lie, sir.
As long as she's back for playoffs. That's all that matters.
Oh, when they break up. The music she's gonna write.
I wonder if he'll come out and let some dirt fly.
I hope so.
I bet they had to sign he signed an NDA or whatever that is, where you can't talk about it.
Oh, that would be dumb.
Why?
'Cause, like, why would you do that?
Because it's Taylor Swift.
She's gonna write songs about him after they break up and make millions.
It's in the contract. He gets a percentage. He gets a little bit of the back end.
Like royalties?
Yeah. He gets that Gyllenhaal deal.
God. Alright, well, moving on. So, the Raiders, it comes out to light that the Raiders have a kumbaya meeting in which, what's-his-face, Dickweed gets... McDaniels, not to be confused with McDaniel,
right?
With the Dolphins.
Correct.
But Las Vegas Raiders former head coach McDaniels gets fucking roasted by the players and is described later as being a shell of his former self.
Yeah, every captain told him what a piece of shit he was. Pierce tried to rally the troops and use the Patriots as an example of overcoming, as the Patriots being the fall guys. And McDaniels showed his true colors, where his loyalty lies, and in front of everyone bent over and said, "Kiss my ass." I'm glad he's gone. It's great. Every time they've lost a coach mid-season, they've rallied and put on a really good performance. So I'm interested to see what happens. I got Myers on my league, so I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. It's interesting to see that the coach that was the one that defended him is the one that was named the interim.
He's a very calculated, just from what I've seen, and the way he carries himself, how he answers questions, just all around, he seems to be a very calculated individual. And I think he intentionally triggered McDaniels so that he could get the... Like, it's such a brilliant move. You don't even have to shoot for the king. You just have to kind of set the gun next to the king, say a couple words, and the king fucking, "Oh God," and shoots himself. And Pierce is just like, "Oh man, if I have to, I guess. Is that what you guys want?" And they're like, "Fuck yeah, come on, Pierce." Like, okay.
So, I came across a news story that I have to share with everybody. 2 NFL players were fined.
Okay.
Each $13,659. Broncos linebacker Josie Jewell and defensive lineman Zach Allen for unsportsmanlike conduct against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna read this to you. After Jewell sacked Chiefs quarterback Mahomes in the third quarter, the linebacker, nicknamed the Outlaw, celebrated by pretending to shoot in the air with finger guns. Allen joined in with his own finger guns. As Jonathan Jones of CBS pointed out to Twitter, the NFL will fine players for any act resembling shooting a gun.
They got fined
$13,659.
A number that sounds like a 5-year-old made up.
For going pew 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 pew.
No.
Now,
one of the
outlaw Josie got this name from the outlaw Josie Wales. And he's had it since high school. Because he's...
Does he always do the gun shoot?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was named Josie after that movie.
So prior to this year, he's always celebrated by shooting in the sky.
It was, not shooting at anybody.
But just
like
shooting
like an outlaw shooting in the sky, like I gotcha. And Zach Allen joined in with guns of his own.
Well, I mean, when someone's shooting guns in there, you gotta join in.
I agree.
That is crazy. The NFL has taken such a politically correct. Wow. $13,659.
$13,659.
Do you know who Reggie White is? He was a Green Bay Packers lineman. His celebration was dubbed the Grave Digger. And whenever he would get a sack, he would be in the backfield digging the quarterback's grave. And now you can't do finger guns?
Yeah, finger guns.
Wow. Well, Reggie, if you're still alive, I think he died in 2008. Don't quote me on that. I'm bullshitting. He would be rolling over in his grave.
Yeah. It was...
See what I did there?
I had... Oh, wrong one.
Shit just got serious.
There we go. That's the right one.
Wow.
So yeah.
Interesting.
I almost died laughing at the thought of the fact that these dudes... But first off, men never fully grow up. In this moment, these are just two large little boys.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got him! I got him! And he's like, oh, he's shooting his guns? I want to get my guns out too. Pew, 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 pew.
Absolutely. Wow.
And
did they get a flag in the moment? It was just purely retroactive, or did they get a flag?
Oh, no. The play was negated by defensive holding penalty against the Denver secondary, so the sack does not count toward Jules' stats. The linebacker officially finished the game with 5 tackles.
So they did get a penalty, but it wasn't for sportsmanlike conduct.
Right.
Okay. Crazy.
So it was after.
Well, here's 2 to you, outlaw.
Yeah. Here we go, outlaw. Pew, 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 pew. I'll tag you in it, and we'll clip it. So, moving on. Yeah. So, our predictions. All right. So, the first game is boring ass Carolina. Carolina versus Chicago. Here's a fun fact number 343.
Okay.
Chicago owns Carolina's 2024 first round pick. And Carolina is 1-7.
Wow. Oh yeah, because they were like, "Hey, we got Brees Hall. We're the best."
Mm-hmm.
They shit the bed on that one.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud was definitely the recruit to get. I don't know. Do you know that whenever they were interviewing and scouting all of the quarterbacks coming up, they did it's like a in the moment test. So they'll give you logical questions, and as you're answering them, they're trying to distract you. It's like supposed to be a how does this person think in a stressful environment.
Right.
So CJ bombed it. He did the worst. So bad that it was kind of a part of the news cycle during the off season. Brees did phenomenal on it. They have no clue what is going to be a superstar metric. They have no. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. He went here. We're just gonna pick him. Hopefully, it works out.
Right.
That's it. It's such a shame that people pay to act like they have the answers.
Well, like that movie Draft Day,
Mm-hmm.
where he gets his private investigator to look into the quarterback.
Right.
And one of the things that he finds out is that nobody went to his birthday party.
Right.
And then he calls him and he asks him, he's like, I just have one question for you. Did anybody go to your birthday party? And he's like, I don't know why that's important.
And that was the guy that wasn't the guy written on his sheet.
Mm-mm. The guy that he wrote on his sheet was the defensive end.
Okay.
Right, like, because nobody drafts a defensive end number one.
By metrics, this guy was the next Tom Brady. The one that didn't have
but
anyone
he
come
had
to his
character
party.
flaws
Right.
and shit.
Right.
Like, why, like, that's right. I mean, like, if you think about it, like, a quarterback should be leader of the team. Like, everybody should be wanting to spend time with him, like, and be his friend and go to his birthday party. So why didn't they?
So these GMs are just taking numbers on the sheet, rolling with it.
Right. I would say that's probably pretty fucking accurate. Like, it's hard to convince them to think outside of a box.
Well, it's the more outside of the box you go, the more at risk your position becomes, because you didn't play it safe and go by.
Right, because if it doesn't go right, then you're gonna lose your job.
Yeah. Part 2, spoiler: the defensive end did suck, and he got fired the next season. For
sure, right? Because if he doesn't pan out,
but both of them could have not panned out, the quarterback and the defensive end. But the GM that played it safe and took the
quarterback still has his job.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, who you got? Who's you got?
Oh,
where are we at?
So we didn't even talk about Chicago. So, I think this game is like, Fields is gonna be out again. Like, he's still not... He went from might play to doubtful throughout the week. Neither team is playing for anything other than Chicago's draft pick. The public is kind of split on it. The AI prediction is that it'll be 18.9 to 24.7, so Chicago wins, covers, and it goes over. The line is Chicago. It opened at Chicago -2, and now it's Chicago -3.5. So I don't know. I mean, other than the public pushing it, that the over and under's at 39. I just, it's so ugly. Oh, I mean, like last week, Bagent. How do you say his name?
No clue.
The backup quarterback, Chicago. He himself.
Oh, Bagel.
Bagel?
No.
The Bagel. Bagent. He committed 5 turnovers all by himself against New Orleans. 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. All by his lonesome.
Yeah, I picked up Chicago. Maybe I should have picked up Carolina for the defense.
I think you're going to have the same shit with Chicago because Carolina had 3 turnovers and with 2 of them returned for touchdowns against Indianapolis.
I'm going to say...
So either way, I think this game is going to be about who capitalizes on turnovers and who's able to run the ball better.
We'll go 21 to 17. So I will take the under, and I think Carolina is going to win this one.
I'll take Chicago at home and the under.
All right.
So let's write it down.
Type it in.
Yeah.
Put that shit in there.
So we'll say Officer Daniels says
under
Carolina and the under, and Bella says Chicago and the under. Alright, so next up we got Cleveland versus Baltimore. Officer Daniels is pouring a shot. Alright, we got 55% of the public is on Cleveland, 45 on Baltimore. Do the math, right? Over and under is 37.5. That's pretty low.
Wow. Especially,
Baltimore picked. Baltimore scored 37 points by themselves last week.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I don't think that's a fluke.
Me neither.
So I'm going to say over, and
I haven't even given... I have more information than
okay,
that.
yeah. Hit me with it. But my initial thought is Baltimore over.
Well, the line opened at Cleveland plus 4.5, and now it's at Cleveland plus 6. Baltimore. So the public is on you said Baltimore?
Yes.
So the public's on Cleveland. So this time you're on my side.
I think I just have a bias towards the Ravens. I was always a fan as a kid of them.
Yeah.
Whenever 52, I can't think of Lewis.
Oh, Ray Lewis. Yeah, I like Ray Lewis too. I think I just like defensive ends.
Well, he was a linebacker.
Well, he's still like one. I like the guys that sack the quarterbacks.
Nice. Yeah.
Because like quarterbacks are such prima donnas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, fuck them pretty boys up. They're such snobs.
When I saw Mayfield going helmet to head with his linemen,
yeah,
I was like, all right, Mayfield's about that
he's a fucking YOLO motherfucker. So Cleveland is 5-3 overall, 4-3-1 against the spread. Baltimore 7-2 and 6-3 against the spread. AI predicts 17 to 25.5 Baltimore. Baltimore wins, covers, and goes over.
Nice.
Cleveland is committing 2.43 turnovers per game.
Wow.
I think that's going to be a big factor in this game.
Well, Ravens definitely capitalize whenever they get a turnover in their favor.
So Cleveland's defense is a thing. They are only allowing 20 points per game on average, 163 pass yards per game, 96 rush yards per game. But they are 0-2 in away games. So not really performing too good on a road. They are 2-6 versus Baltimore against the spread. 4-12 straight up versus Baltimore. Their last 10 out of 15 have gone under. And their last 4, they won against Arizona. Like, what? I mean,
who wouldn't?
27-0. They lost against Seattle, 20-24. They won against Indianapolis 39-38, but that was against Minshew. Like, that wasn't even...
I don't know why you gotta say it that way. Minshew's performing.
Okay. He must be on your lineup.
No. I'm
like, as you took that super personal. And then they won against San Francisco 19-17.
I'm going to change mine to Baltimore under.
Okay. I thought that's what you already had picked.
No, I had Baltimore over.
Oh, okay.
But I'm doing Baltimore under.
And then, so then we move to Baltimore's shit. Their defense is allowing about 99 per game, 99 yards per game, passing yards at around 177. They're only allowing 15 points per game. They're 3-1 at home against the spread, 8-3 against the spread overall. 10 in their last 11 have gone under. Their last 4 was a win against Seattle, 37-3, a win against Arizona, 31-24, a win against Detroit, 38-6, and a win against Tennessee, 24-16. So, we talked earlier about UFC math, and I'm sure not everybody understands UFC math.
Okay.
And I think that it applies to in this situation because both Baltimore and Seattle have played a lot of the same teams. Like, they've both played Arizona and they've both played Seattle.
UFC math is if fighter A can beat fighter B, but fighter B can beat fighter C, then without fighter A fighting fighter C, everyone's going to think fighter A can beat fighter C.
Okay.
So, looking at it and saying, oh wow, Browns were able to shut out Arizona and Baltimore was able to win by a touchdown. So that's kind of like a narrow defeat or a narrow win. So using UFC math, you would say oh, the Browns are the better team. Right?
Yeah.
So if the Browns are the better team, whenever they play, the Browns are going to win. UFC math is very surface, very fighter A, fighter B, fighter C. Arizona, Baltimore, Browns. So there you go. That's fighter math.
And so do you think that it applies in football?
I don't think anyone should apply it to either sport. I think it's a false narrative that is kind of regurgitated by water cooler junkies just saying, oh, well, he's definitely going to beat him because he beat the shit out of blah, blah. Or in this case, oh, man, the Browns are going to smack around Lamar. Didn't you see how they did whoever the quarterback of the Cardinals is?
Oh, so it's like a casual thing to...
I think so. There is
like
some...
somebody who hasn't done research.
It's like a way... It's like an eye test. It's like, okay, yeah, this is plausible. This is a metric. But to put everything into, oh, I'm going to go with them because of this past event, you don't know how that person was feeling. You don't know how they were being... You don't know if there was a fight between him and his wife right before he walked out. And with football, there's even more variables. You don't know if Taylor's
not at the game.
Right. And you don't know if Kelsey is like, man, she hasn't returned my calls. I've built the shrine. I've showed her the shrine, and she won't stay in it.
All right. That's interesting. So, who you going with? You're going with Baltimore?
Baltimore.
And the under. Right?
Yes. I do think the Browns defense, after hearing that and after seeing that, I think that they can make it a manageable game, but I don't think, even if Watson shows up, Cooper is a.k.a. Pooper.
6. That's such a big line, but I think that Baltimore's going to handle it. I like Baltimore too. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I probably won't bet the over and under. If I'm forced to pick it, then I would pick the under, but I'm not going to bet it.
Oh, why not?
Well, because I don't like it.
Okay.
Anything can happen. But I won't bet it. But I would if I had to pick, I would lean towards the under.
How do you decide what matches matches you lock in and feel super confident about, and others that you'll just, we should avoid this one?
Just more data backing it up. Like more
not conflicting data.
Yeah, and like more, like Baltimore has been quietly playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
There is they've had harder competition, I think, overall. They've performed better when they should have, and they have a better team. And Cleveland is hurt.
But what about that makes you want to avoid the bet? It sounds like...
No, I don't want to avoid the bet. I would avoid over the over and under.
Ah.
I would bet Baltimore, but I wouldn't bet the over and under.
Huh. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, so I would take Baltimore. I really like Baltimore. Like, I really like Baltimore. I would almost lean to making it a lock. But I don't like the over and under because it's... What is it at? The fuck, where did it go? Yeah, I mean, it's so fucking low. It's 37.5.
Yeah, it's either going to be 36 or 40.
Yeah, Baltimore scored that themselves last week at 37 to 3 or 38 to 3 or some shit like that. That's insane.
Do you think it's going to be competitive?
I don't know, because Cleveland just keeps losing motherfuckers. They just keep dropping like flies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who else are they going to lose?
Hopefully Pooper. I hate him.
You got like
I've written
personal.
his fan club a couple times, letting them know. Haven't gotten anything back yet.
Oh no. Didn't work.
What were you? What sound effect were you trying? What?
Oh goodness. Okay, so we have to write it down. Let's see. So we're going. Officer Daniels is going Baltimore and the
Under.
And then I'm gonna go Baltimore and the over.
Oh, it feels good. Feels good to be right.
Does it? Alright, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the clip of episode 1 so I can write down our predictions from the first week so I can have an accurate count of where we are.
Yeah, we gotta know.
Yeah, we're fucking super competitive in this place.
But you are whenever the bankroll goes up or down, you are the one that directly affects it.
Yeah. All right. So this is an interesting one, I think, because we talked about it briefly before. Houston versus Cincinnati. So Houston, 32% of the public is on Houston and 68% is on Cincinnati. The over and under is 48.
Wow.
Striking difference, right, between 37.5. The line opened at Cincinnati minus 9.5, and now it is at Cincinnati minus 7.
Are those what's the AI prediction in there?
The AI predicts the score of 17.1 to 25.9. Cincinnati wins, covers, and goes under. I wrote this. I think this is a bigger test for Cincinnati than people may think. In the Houston's last game, C.J. Stroud sets rookie record with 470 passing yards with win over Tampa Bay 39-37. Houston may be without Dameon Pierce, so Singletary will need to step up and perform stronger because Cincinnati does have a stronger defense. They allow 20 points per game or less. Burrow had 348 yards and 2 touchdowns versus the Bills. Although they only have 54 yards. They are 3-4 at home, while Houston is 1-3 at home, or 1-3 away. Oh, that's rough. Their last 4, Houston. Oh, this is brutal. This is a storyteller right here. This is their last 4 on each side. Houston won against Tampa Bay 39-37. They lost against Carolina 13-15. They won against New Orleans 20-13. They lost against Atlanta 19-21. Cincinnati won against Buffalo 24-18. Won against San Francisco 31-17. Won against Seattle 17-13. Won against Arizona 34-20.
What was that?
What?
Hey, is there a drafted? It's getting cold.
Are you talking shit?
Brr! Let's go, Burrs.
Well, yeah, I thought you were saying that.
No, I'm saying Cincinnati's gonna come in this thing, and I'm going over Cincinnati, and I'm gonna change it to a lock of over 11 points.
Didn't you say earlier that Cincinnati is one thing away from imploding on themselves?
Yeah, but until that happens, they're going to the fucking bowl. Until they are the most fragile, meaning at any point their season is over.
Oh, God.
But until that point, I have them, division favorites to make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, gosh.
Wow, wow, wow.
I don't remember what it is.
Girl, shut your mouth.
Oh, shit.
Shit, I saw that.
Never happened in Super Bowl history.
Whatever. They've gone a couple times. They just can't complete the dance. What? Yeah, so I'm going Cincinnati over, and they're gonna win by 11 points.
Yeah, I like Cincinnati in this game. I think that this is going to be a big test for Houston. I think that looking at their record is a big story.
Mm-hmm.
You let Tampa Bay put up 37 points?
That's rough.
Like, you lost to Carolina? Like, you could only put up 15 points against Carolina? No. You're going to go up against a really strong defense. Cincinnati only allows 20 points a game or less.
History would show it's more likely that Stroud doesn't carry on that level and has
that was a fluke.
Horrible week.
That's a fluke.
That's what
and
history
pressure
would
is
show.
going to be high. Because how sore is his arm?
So what are you locking in? Or are you keeping anything? Are you staying
I'm
away?
gonna go with Cincinnati in the under.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
I'm gonna say Cincinnati over.
Oh.
Perfect. Yes. Cincinnati over. They win by 11 or more.
Cincinnati over
Over.
by 11.
Yes.
Okay. And then I am going to go just Cincinnati and under. Alright, so next up on the docket, we got San Francisco versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville's coming off their bye week. San Francisco's coming off of a loss, I believe. 61% of the public is on San Francisco, 39% is on Jacksonville. We got the over and under at 45.5. opened at San Francisco -1. It is currently at San Francisco -3. 1, 2, 3. The AI predicts 21 to 23.6. Jacksonville wins, covers, and goes under.
Wow.
I know, crazy, huh? San Francisco is 1-5 in away games. What? D. Samuel is out. That's sad. Oh, guess who else is out? Their brand new, newly acquired defensive end, Chase Young.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Do you know?
Nope. It just said that he was questionable. Trent Williams, tackle, out, questionable, but didn't seem promising. But when their full defense is up, like fully up to capacity, they only allow 79 rushing yards per game, 223 passing yards per game, and 15.5 points per game. Jacksonville is 6-2 against the spread, with 5-0 in their last 5. Defense only allows 80 rushing yards per game and 273 passing yards per game. So, yeah, Jacksonville was playing super good before you know,
Yeah, I
before their
think
bye.
Kirk is going to have another great game. And I agree completely with the AI. But I think they'll go
their
over.
last record.
Well, with Purdy the way he is lately, I could see him putting up only 17.
Yeah, Trent Williams is
21,
still
yeah,
questionable. Chase Young is still questionable. It doesn't even say why he's questionable. It just says that he's questionable. Alright, so San Francisco lost their last 3. They lost to Cincinnati 17-31. They lost to Minnesota. Oh yeah, look at this. Their last 3 games, they were like, all right, we scored 17. That's all we're doing.
Right. I said 17. So.
Yeah, so they lost to Cincinnati 17-31. Lost to Minnesota 17-22. Lost to Cleveland 17-19. But they beat Dallas because, woohoo, Dallas. Fuck Dallas. 42-10.
So if they win, they're going over.
Yeah, I guess so. Because, yeah, they beat Arizona. If they're playing a bad team, because look, Arizona 35-16, the Giants 30-12, the Rams.
You can say Dallas 42-10.
Yeah, I did. That's what got
Cowboys.
That's what we did. That's what got the air horn.
Oh, okay.
We started
I thought you
with
started
them.
with the 35-16.
No, we started with the air horn. All of these are the bad teams that they blew out. But when they started playing a real team, all they could store was 17 points, which wasn't enough.
Who? Dallas, Arizona, New York. Who's at the very bottom? Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's 30-17. There's
Wow.
30-7.
I think the AI is spot on with this one.
Yeah,
But
let's look at Jacksonville.
Oh.
Huh? What?
Yeah, it's. Oh, I'm just thinking. It does seem like if San Francisco wins, you're going over, and if San Francisco loses, it's going to be a low
look
scoring
at
game.
Jacksonville's won their last 5. They beat Pittsburgh 20-10. They beat New Orleans 31-24 with Taysom Hill going the fuck off. They beat Indianapolis 37-20. They beat Buffalo 25-20. They beat Atlanta 23-7. Yeah, I think the prediction is right. Is Jacksonville got any notable injuries?
No.
No. They acquired Ezra Cleveland, a tackle from San Francisco. That's funny. He's got inside information.
I'm going to go over Jacksonville, and they're going to win by 3.
Over and under is 45.
I'm going to say they put up 47.
Yeah, I love getting points in this situation with Jacksonville at home. Yeah, I'm going to go definitely Jacksonville. I'm going to go... I'm not betting the over and under.
Okay.
But if I'm going to pick, I'm going to go under. Well, hang on. Let me look at what kind of points these assholes allow. Because I don't know. What do they normally allow? They're only allowing... The Jacksonville defense is only allowing 20 points a game. Oof. Yeah, I think I'm going to go... Lord have mercy. That's why I don't like the over the under on this one. I guess I'll go with the over.
But you don't feel confident about it.
Yeah, I'll go with Jacksonville and the over. I don't like it. Alright, so Officer Daniels goes Jacksonville. I think this is the only pick we agree on. And then I go the same. Jacksonville and the over. Alright. Did I write everything down? Of course I didn't. I didn't get everything written down. So the last one that we're doing is New Orleans versus Minnesota.
Okay.
This is 2 potential NFC playoff teams. New Orleans has got 46% of the public, and Minnesota has 54%. I'm gonna just pull it up on here because it's gonna be so much easier if I just have it on here. Here we go. So, the line opened at Minnesota minus 2.5, and it is still right there. The over and under is 41. The predicted score is 20.4 to 23.7. So Minnesota wins, they cover, and the total goes over. But, they barely cover. Barely. It's not like they're like, oh, we covered. It was like, woo! Just by the hair on my chinny chin chin. They could have covered by more. It was just like a hypothetical model.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. So, They're almost like identical on their average points per game. Minnesota is passing more. They have no fucking running game. Like, no fucking running game. Like, 73 yards of rushing a game is pathetic. And that's what Minnesota's getting. Compared to 106 for New Orleans.
Yeah, Madison just seems off this year.
Taysom Hill is the 5th player in history to get 10 touchdowns in each category of passing, receiving, and rushing.
Oh, wow. That's like a EGOT.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know who picked him up, like, just on the spur of the moment? Because, like, I needed someone, like, because Laporta was...
Anybody that needed a tight end that week. This is Tyson Hill goes home. And he sits and he looks at his draft numbers increase. This time of year for him is the best. Everyone is in your position.
Yeah, but
I picked him up, I think, 2 days ago because I was like, shit, I need a tight end. He's the greatest C-line, like C-tier tight end that you could have.
He's hella cheap on daily, too.
Only 5 in history.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame. Like, that point right there in itself secured him a Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean he's
if you're...
like the 5th in history. Come the fuck on. Like, if only 5 people have ever done it.
To score, what was it?
10 touchdowns in each category of passing, receiving, and rushing. And he's going to get more.
Receiving and rushing. Wow. That's interesting. How long has it... This is his 4th or 5th, or has he been around forever?
No, he just started not too long ago.
I wonder if a team's ever going to pick him up and, okay, let's really see what he can do. Or he has to be a second string for it to work.
I don't know. They've been utilizing the fuck out of him lately. Like, they're like, hey, so check this out.
Yeah, it's almost like, oh great, you're the Swiss Army knife. You're able to be deployed in so many different situations, so many different packages, but since he is so versatile, he almost has to be a second string quarterback. You have to have someone behind center that can just be taken out every few plays to switch up the...
Well, that's
tempo.
why I said if I was him, I would hire me a fucking throwing coach. And, get some dummies in the backyard.
But you still, even if because he does have a good arm, he can throw. But what are you going to do whenever he's in running back spot? Or whenever he's wide out and he's running slot or slants and fucking... Right. You have to have a quarterback in there that can get him the ball in those situations.
And then you're risking your quarterback because what if he gets hurt?
Right. That good, yes, yeah.
Because, your quarterback's your franchise.
So he's going to retire a Saint and be a first rounder. Is that your... That's my prediction right now.
Well, he's definitely going to the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt he does.
What is that? First round ballot? Or
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the first year. Because you're eligible 7 years after you retire.
4 other people have done it.
Yeah.
10 in each.
And it was probably like way back in the day, like when there was multiple, like when you...
Fred, Jeff, Wilbur, and Dylan all got it in 63.
Yeah. They were playing defense and offense.
Right. Well, that's just what you did at those times.
Yeah. There wasn't enough of us, even in the league. We played on the multiple teams, actually.
Yeah.
We helped each other out.
Starting the first half with... All right, so I'm going to take New Orleans.
Okay, but we haven't even heard anything about Minnesota. But okay.
No, if you want to go for it.
So the AI... I told you that it predicts that Minnesota to win. So Minnesota's on a 4-game winning streak. Josh Dobbs played super well in his... Was this his debut?
His debut with that team, yeah. I think he's been on 8 different teams.
Yeah, his Minnesota seasons. Debut.
Yeah, they were the coach was saying during the game he would only tell him, okay, on this, like, they would go into the huddle, he would read the call, Delta 7-4 flat, Z 69 breaker, and then break the huddle, go out there, and in his earpiece, he would hear, okay, on this play, this guy's going to be running a flat, this person's going to be running a slant, this person's a sluggo. And he would just, first you're going to look to the right, and then drift your head left, and then at a point, he would get cut off, because at 15 seconds, they can't communicate. So for those 15 seconds, he would have to just go through a checklist of, okay, this is what I heard, this is what I gave, this is what I was told, he performed excellent.
Right.
I'm happy to see it. I'm going to go ahead and switch my pick and go Minnesota. Just kidding. I'm going to stay. I think it was
Akers is out for the season.
Well, Akers wasn't doing anything anyway. That's a moot point.
Dobbs and Madison combined for 22 carries for 110 yards. Dobbs got the majority of them.
That was the other thing he said. When in doubt, run. And Dobbs would just take off to the right and up the sideline. There you go.
Yeah.
Wish Richardson could
Taysom, New Orleans plays better on the road than they do at home. They're 0-4 at home, but 3-2 away. So,
interesting.
And Minnesota is 1-6 against the spread at home.
Yeah, Minnesota is kind of like Detroit.
Yeah.
They just...
So, I don't know. I think that Minnesota, while they're on a 4-game winning streak, is
due
for a loss.
Yep. I can see it.
They're like just like slippery on slippery ice.
I wonder if the GM's having a conversation with the coach and being like, hey, remember, we're supposed to be losing these games.
Yeah.
We're trying to go for a quarterback
like,
next year.
What the fuck are you doing, dude?
He's just like, we know one way. Win.
Yeah. Like, but he's that young idiot quarterback. What's his name?
He was a backup to Brady and Bledsoe. Off the top of my head, I can't think of his name.
So he comes from the Belichick system?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
That's another
Oh, what was that shit that we were watching earlier about?
It's not a tree, it's a bush.
Wow. It's not that kind of podcast. I'm talking about bushes.
What?
About Belichick being the GM and the...
Oh, yes, and the head coach, and how this is kind of a interesting situation because they're not only going to have to replace the head coach, they'll have to replace the GM. So it's more moving parts. It's more, can we get two people in on the same page that are going to have the same, that they'll align in these ways. It is going to be a rough few years for the Patriots.
I think they can't get rid of him because he's been a part of the organization for so long.
Well, he still has 2 or 3 years also on his contract. Or 2 years. He just got an extension.
Right.
And he said that if you try and fire me right now, because they were doing like some lip reading between the owner and his son, and they were saying how bad they were performing and they got to do something about it. But so Belichick said, hey, if you do something about it, I'm gonna sue you, and I'm gonna take, basically this will be the shittiest situation you ever put yourself in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So but I think Belichick has 2 years left, and then after that, it's.
I think he has dirt
rebuild.
on Kraft. Like, and Belichick's fucking crazy. Like, and he's a control freak. Like, the players aren't allowed to, like, do press conferences. And they're not allowed to, like, go anywhere. Like, they're not allowed to do anything. Like, they're crazy. He's crazy.
He's extremely calculated.
And
yes.
he's a control freak.
I don't know. It just seems like he knows that if in-house arguments are taken out to the public, that is just going to do more damage for the team inside the locker room. But it's definitely the end of him. That era is gone. Brady's gone. Belichick's gone. It is.
He
over
has
for the
dirt on
Patriots.
Robert Kraft. I'm telling you.
Well, there
He's
were a bunch
it's all
of
gonna
parties
come
where
out.
Gronk got a little too drunk.
Kraft was on Epstein's island.
No, I think if there's dirt, it was Gronk took a bag.
Gronk took a bag?
Mm-hmm. Kraft was like, hey, you did real good this season. Why don't you come over and, let me give you a little reward. And Belichick was like, it'll be the best thing you do for me. Go on, do it.
Oh, God.
Yep, that's true. True story. Write it up. Gronk and Kraft had relations, and Belichick knew about it.
Gronk is the...
Dumb enough to do it? Yes, he is.
He's a doofus.
No, if they do have it, it's gonna play out the way it's playing out. Belichick's gonna play out his contract. He's gonna be kicked to the curb. His whole bush is gonna be set on fire.
Oh, God.
And they will be tilling up that soil for so many years, just trying to get something to plant in that dead, barren Oklahoma red dirt.
You know, Nick Saban and him went to, like, college together or some shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you going New Orleans or are you going Minnesota?
I'm going to go Saints, and I'm going to go over.
Saints and over. Alright. I'm gonna go Saints and over.
Alright.
I like it. Wait, don't be like hopping the fuck off. You're not done yet.
Well, you can do your solo, right? Doesn't that...
I thought you would want to talk about the UFC fight that was coming up.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah.
Sergey versus Aspinall?
Yes.
Or as the...
Just the main card. Or just the... Not the main... just that fight.
Or as the casuals would call him, Sergi.
Yeah, the casuals would call him Sergi.
But it's pronounced Sergey.
Sergey. So yeah, we actually wrote an article about this way back in the...
Yes. The heavies.
Yeah, the heavies, and did a whole art piece where we turned them into Pixar characters.
Yeah.
Super cool.
We'd almost pick this exact situation.
Yeah, we called this exact situation that these were the future of the UFC, that this was gonna come to fruition. So here we are for the interim heavyweight title fight. We have 18-1 Sergey Pavlovich versus 13-3 Tom Aspinall.
And one of those losses for Aspinall can be argued.
Yeah, I think that loss, I heard a casual. A casual.
What is a casual? Casual?
Casual. A casual. Somebody who would, for instance, only watch 2 fights about a fighter.
Who would do that?
And then give their fucking opinion.
To a large audience?
To a large audience.
No.
And then...
That sounds reckless.
That sounds insane, right? And irresponsible to a sport and to a fan and to the fighters.
Audience. Irresponsible. Reckless. Are you talking about Sonnen?
Yeah.
Chael P. Sonnen?
Yeah.
The biggest casual in media at the moment?
That'd be him.
Why would you think he's such a casual?
Because he watched 2 fights about this fighter and then proceeds to give his opinion like that makes him qualified. That's absolutely insanity. That's irresponsible. You can't even pronounce the man's name right. That's disrespectful.
He definitely goes off of pastime knowledge and history and fame?
I know that I go off of research and hours spent doing research and video watching past fights. And
don't you have a direct contact to Chael P. Sonnen?
Yeah, Chael did reach out to me to
you personally.
To me personally, yeah.
Belaruski with 2 viewers.
Well,
you?
Yes, to me.
What?
Personally.
Tell me about it.
Well, I shared an art piece after the Korean Zombie had retired.
Mm-hmm.
That was done. That was like, I don't want to say a parody piece, but just like a play off the situation to create hype and generate steam and views, and it was a piece suggesting a fight between the Korean Zombie and Jake Paul.
Okay.
And I posted it on my Twitter, and Shale
of a man's son.
Shale of a man's son, and that's good. Shale. Maybe that'll help me remember his name. I know he's not real good with names, so I figured I shouldn't, put much effort into remembering his.
Yeah.
Shale.
Do unto others.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Shale.
So anyway.
He sent me a message on Twitter.
What?
I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I was like, first off, I was like, this couldn't possibly be.
You mean superstar Sonnen?
Like, with like over 1 million followers, sent me a message.
Took time out of his day
to send lowly ass me a message.
And he wants to get butthurt about Ariel.
Right.
Come on now. So, what was it?
He wanted me to take down the post about the fight suggesting that the Korean Zombie fight Jake Paul.
What?
And he made an argument in which why this was impractical to suggest, and that was because nobody would watch it,
that there would be no interest, and that Jake Paul was like 200 pounds, and that the Korean Zombie was retiring. And then he summed it up with kind of like a...
Oh, yes. He summed it up with a reference to how was the play Mrs. Lincoln.
What? What does that even mean?
It is a reference to... like asking, like, don't you get the point? Like, you're missing the point. Like, it's like an obvious way of saying you're missing the whole point.
Okay.
Like, duh.
But it seemed like... Well, okay. Did you respond? Did you...
Yes, I did. I responded with a very well thought out, written, like, well written, because I'm a writer.
right? And we are heavy users of artificial intelligence, right? And we had you had the
AI assistants.
right, come up with. I read it. It sounded like it was very boom, 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 to the point.
Yeah, and it was basically stating that that every person that Jake Paul had fought was somebody who had already retired.
That was one of his things. Like, oh, well, he's just too old. And he was like the youngest one that Jake Paul was going to fight, right? At that time.
Yeah, he was too old and he was the youngest one. Like, I mean, Silva was one that he had already...
I think Silva was like 74.
Silva was 74. Fuck out of here. And then...
did he respond? Or did you...
Oh, well, hang on. I don't tell you all the points. And then one of them was that nobody would watch. And I was like, he is like one of the biggest draws in the Asian market for combat sports that there is. Like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, they have like billions. Are you...
And you made a great point about the storyline of Clash of Culture.
Yeah.
Of how Jake represented the Western culture of brash, in your face, boom, I'm the shit. And Zombie represented the silent warrior that just comes out, handles business, and walks back out in the shadows.
Yeah, and so I made a point about the size and that they could do it at a catch weight, and that the reason that Zombie was at that size is because he made weight and that he would have time to come up to that. You
even looked up something about the Jake's a little chunky for his size.
Yeah,
and he could afford to lose a few pounds.
Yeah, I looked up what an average size man for his size should be. So, yeah. And so I absolutely just demolished his points, essentially.
Okay.
And made much stronger arguments in return. Like, I had a debate with him. Like, in a proper way.
Yes.
Not a rude way, not in a petty way, but in a very mature, healthy, let's have a debate way.
Right. Like, you're going to walk into my house and tell me to do something with my yard. Well, let me tell you why you should go walk out in the street.
Yeah, and he took it like...
Well, he didn't respond, right?
Well, and the way I interpreted it, that was he thought I was gonna be like, oh my God, you're Shale Sonnen, I can't believe you. I'll do exactly what you said. And all I did was untag him.
Right. Well, I think for someone on his level to be so out of touch with what is really happening in the community and with the fighters, it is a shame to see such a person that at one point I thought was the standard for commentary of the UFC, and for him to come after someone who is just starting out and just having fun and in a space of, wow, this is awesome, check this out, man, this is dope, let me share this, for him to just stop his day and tell you how you should act, I mean, if anyone should get a finger, it's him. Let's red pill him.
Yeah, I think he should definitely get a red pill. Anyways. So, Aspinall and Pavlovich.
Yes. The truth of it is, Sergey is a powerhouse who is not technical in the least, knows how to throw a punch, knows how to put power behind that punch, but will probably miss 2 out of 5. Those 3 that connect, man, they could put you down. Aspinall's going to have to bounce around. He's going to have to rely on his speed, and he's going to hope that it doesn't come clean. Because if it does, Aspinall's getting wiped in the first round.
Oof. That's going to be rough. I mean, Aspinall is just really fast. Like, he moves back. Like, he's able to, like, dip back out of range, like, really quick.
I haven't seen... He is great with the front and back, forward, back. I haven't really seen him be... They always say that he's great whenever he's the hammer, but as soon as he becomes the nail, he folds, like Wolverine or someone like that. I haven't seen Aspinall be the nail, and I don't know how he's going to act on his back foot and not being the aggressor, because Sergey is going to come out. He is going to put the pressure on, and it's going to be, meet me in the center, let's bang. So, I'll be right back. What do you think about that? Let him know.
Okay. I really like Aspinall in this fight. I think that he is much more well-rounded as a fighter. I think that Sergey represents a lot of what the older heavyweights represented, of more forward pressure and power. And Aspinall is speed and overwhelming you with punches and submissions and takedowns and kicks and body punches, and it's not just going to be, I'm trying to knock you out. It's going to be a multifaceted attack.
I think Aspinall's going to try and put on a show, overextend, and Sergey's just going to hit him with one of those clean straights. I can't see, if Aspinall wins, he could take him down. He could, if he can put Sergey on his back foot, if he can maintain the pressure and not give an inch to Sergey and put Sergey up against the fence, he can double leg him, he can take him to the ground, and he can ground and pound him and win every round that way.
Right.
I could... What's your heart saying? Who are you going with?
I really like Aspinall in this fight. Like, I really do. Like I said, he's fast, he's quick, he's,
What are the odds?
Let's look it up. I don't know what the live is. Take this, please.
Didn't you want it?
There's a reason. Oh, good doggy.
Oh, it was 1 115 to 105.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, we've got...
Sergey was a slight underdog.
Yeah, so we got Aspinall at minus 115 and Sergey at minus 105. So, yeah, so close to a pick'em. I just really think that...
But Tapology was...
The public was
on
picking Sergey. So it's
but he passes the eye test. Sergey looks like the old school heavyweight. And you were saying something about how Aspinall kind of looks like a...
Yeah, he looks like an old school heavyweight. Like that forward pressure. And he's going to have a whole lot of power. But Aspinall is going to have... it's not just going to be like traditional power. It's going to be like a whole bunch of forward pressure kicks. We have like 3 viewers. What do you think? Like, cool?
That's great. Hello to everyone.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for viewing. Y'all are awesome.
It's kind of like how the DEs, the defensive ends, are changing their body type, and they're
like defensive ends,
bruisers.
like they're no longer like these big like chunky dudes. They're like more like athletic fast guys. Like heavyweights now like
lean
are like these lean fast motherfuckers. And so like Aspinall looks more like that instead, and so he's not... Pavlovich is like a big ass refrigerator. And he's just gonna walk forward and he's just gonna try to hit him. And Aspinall got hit a few times by the fights, like the few that we saw, but it didn't faze him or nothing, because when he hits, he throws like 42 punches.
Aspinall has the technique, he has the speed, and he has the cardio. Seemingly. Will he perform under pressure as if he has to become the nail? Can he overcome those tight spots where he has to fight off of his back foot? He has to move laterally. He has to counterpunch. Right. It's going to be a good test for him. If he dismantles Sergey, without a doubt, he's going to have one of the greatest runs at heavyweight in history. He'll be unstoppable. John Jones will... as soon as you bring John Jones up, I have to just stop in my tracks and think, can Aspinall keep from going to the mat against John Jones? Can he keep it standing against John Jones? But that's overlooking Sergey. I think Sergey, if he's going to get it done, it'll be the first round. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, beautiful fight with a lot of blood, and Aspinall's going to come out on top.
I think that Aspinall is fast enough to survive and not take any hard damage.
Blades was connecting.
It was only 22 seconds.
No, I'm talking about on Sergey.
Oh.
But he just didn't have the chin, or there's just so many deficits with Blades.
Oh,
but
yeah.
For someone to have so many deficits and still connect the way he was against Sergey,
right,
with Aspinall's speed, with his technique, he's going to piece him up. But can he do it on the back foot?
Right. I think for anyone to consider the Blades loss and count it against Aspinall would be a complete douche canoe move.
Chill.
and
Sorry. Excuse me.
would be completely disrespectful against Aspinall as a fighter.
Chill. Man,
Because
must be something in the air.
yeah,
Some douche canoery going on.
because if you had watched the fight, maybe you hadn't, because I mean, like, not everybody that's not a casual. They don't watch the fights.
Casual.
You know, they're too busy arguing with Ariel.
Or up and comers.
Or, yeah, like,
People
or
that
picking
are just
on Twitter
having a
people
good day.
about their grammar.
No.
Yes, he does. Like,
No.
yes, he does. Yeah. Like, people with, like, 100 followers. Like, it's so silly.
He does the, your is, why
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
like, just like on a random Tuesday. I'm like, and so, like, I'll comment, like, don't you have anything better to do? Like, for real. Like,
He's an internet bully?
he's a troll.
Well, that's not a troll. That's not...
But yeah, he's an internet bully, if that's what you want to call it. I would have called it a troll, but yeah.
But being a troll is punching up. Or, being...
Oh,
Or being blatantly contradictory.
okay.
That is just some douche canoery. Go down your little river.
Don't be a douche canoe. Don't be a douche canoe. Life advice. Don't be a douche canoe.
Shout out to... oh man, I wish I could remember her name.
Shout out to Pink Patel.
There you go, Pink Patel.
Pink Patel, don't be a douche canoe. Oh, God.
Well, he is the voice of the casual. He is the voice of the uneducated. And I'm going to predict not who wins the fight, but I'm going to predict who Chael predicts to win.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm going to say... he goes Aspinall.
Oh, no.
Yep, the curse is going to be real. Sergey wins in the first round.
You just hope. Because he's going to pick Sergey. Because he's like, this was what he said today. This is what this douche canoe said today. I don't even know why he's getting this chance to fight for the interim. Like, all the other heavyweights are like, hey, I have all these wins. And this guy here, he's 1-1. He's 1-1. What the hell? He's 1-1. Why is this guy even fighting? Blah, blah, blah.
What's even more is if you look at when Aspinall showed up to, I don't know which fight, but he made sure that he was in the audience front row. Sonnen praised him so much, said how great it was, such an awesome move. It's good to see the initiative of the fighters. You put yourself in it, and as soon as he gets the shot, you're going to shit on him?
Well, in the same breath as saying he's 1-1, he also says, I mean, I've only watched 2 of the guys' fights. Okay, well, first off, casual, whatever the fuck, casual.
We're
You're a
working on
fucking casual. That fight lasted 22 seconds, and you can watch a doctor break it down if you don't understand it. He fucks his knee up in a freak accident that has nothing to do with anything to do with Curtis Blades or anything to do with Curtis Blades' actions. So the fight Curtis Blades wasn't winning the fight. Aspinall wasn't losing the fight. It just was a freak fucking accident. So
I really enjoyed the Weasel's breakdown of the fight, and he made a good point about, even though it was a freak accident, even though it played out the way it did, there were, in that 22 seconds, you can see Aspinall being a little bit out of character, a little bit too overzealous. He did expose himself. He did kind of pull an Aljo and go for that looping punch and left his chin down. It was only 22 seconds, but it is a good indicator that Aspinall might be hype. I said it. I said it. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. Hey. 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 I said it.
do you? I looked into their.
Hey. I said it.
I looked into who they fought, and I would say that Aspinall has fought the more proven competition.
They both fought the gatekeeper, and besides that, it was random.
Make me look this shit up.
Okay, Google it. Whoever that dedicated viewer is that stuck with us.
It's me.
Oh.
And I am dedicated.
Damn
I
right
show
you
up
are.
every time.
Hey,
I
so
show up every time.
whoever popped in, thank you for popping in.
Okay, so let's see.
Tabura,
Fight history.
Blades.
Yeah, alright, so he fought. We're just gonna take Blades off because that doesn't count. 15 seconds. 15 seconds, no. Tibera. Alexander Volkov. Sergey Spivak. Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah, let me see Volkov, so I can make sure is it okay?
It's that tall, crazy
yes, that
motherfucker.
is who he beat him.
Yeah. Sergey Spivak.
See, I think the fact that he was able, that's interesting. Go back. The people he submitted are the people he's supposed to submit. He's not supposed to stand and bang with Volkov. Volkov is the more technical striker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting he takes him down first round, submits him. Arlovsky, legend of the game, GOAT. Well, we watched that fight today, and he fucked him up and put him up against the cage and then put him down.
Yeah, he fucked him up with striking, too.
But he's submitting the people he's supposed to submit and knocking out the people he's supposed to knock out.
He's well-rounded.
What? Bring up Sergey. I would say... go back to it real quick. Scroll back down. I'm sorry. Tibura.
We're high as fuck. I forgot we were even podcasting for a minute.
Tibura, it's basically which one is going to show up. Is he going to have a good day or a bad day? He basically fights himself. Tibura could be the greatest, but he gets in his way. Blades, fluke. Volkov submitted him. Sergey Spivak, piece of poop, knocked him out. Losky, second round, went 2 rounds. Alright, pull up the other one.
Alrighty. Alright, So he beat Curtis Blades, but I think Curtis Blades is overhyped as fuck. I think he beat Tai Tuivasa. He beat Derek Lewis.
Looking at that, it seems like...
But then these are a bunch of fucking no-names. But then he loses to Overeem.
As much as a piece of dog poop Sonnen is, he did make a good point that there have been legends that have come into the game that lost their first.
For sure. I'm just saying, this resume isn't as impressive as Aspinall's.
If you look at the last three, I think, or even the last... yeah, if you look at the last three, absolutely. They were hoping to make a name for Ty or for Lewis. He wasn't supposed to win those. They didn't hope that he won those. But then look at Aspinall. He fought Arlovsky, someone that he can beat easily, that has a big name, that he could get fans over.
Legend of the game.
That he could get fans from. They put him up against Sergey, who appears to be that typical bruiser that would look good, him choking out or knocking out. I think he had the tougher schedule.
I think you're biased.
I mean, look at it. Blades is the commonality.
Well,
Ty, he was super hype. He's going to be the next one. Derek Lewis fought him whenever Lewis was at the peak of his career of, I'm going to be...
Right.
He started the skid for Lewis.
Lewis won his fight just before this one.
I know, he started the skid for Lewis. He lost this one and then lost two in a row and then won and then lost his last one. He's 4-1.
Yeah, but Lewis has always been inconsistent. He either wins or loses in the first round.
Alright, final. I'm going to say Sergey first round.
I think Aspinall. I don't know. I would say Aspinall over 1.5 rounds. Let's see.
Well, you don't pay me enough to go over, so I'm going to tap out.
I agree.
I'm going to let my adoring fans out there know that I'll be back next week. And once again, thank you very much, Bellaru, for having me on.
Everybody say goodbye to Officer Daniels.
Deuces, fuckers.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me for another episode of Hey Past That.
Hey, what? Hey, you think you passed that?
We'll see y'all next Wednesday evening. If you have any specific topics other than NFL or
questions,
UFC,
comments, concerns,
other than NFL or UFC that you'd like us to talk about, we're wide open for suggestions.
Send it.
We would love to hear from y'all. So also, we got 2 ads. Is sponsored by Desert Sun Marketing for all your digital design and marketing needs. You can find us at facebook.com/DesertSunMarketing.com. Also at Instagram.com/Desert Sun Digital Marketing. I can't read. If you would like to reach out directly, Desert Sun Marketing at gmail.com, from anything from logo design to design your own game avatar, website design, anything for digital, graphic, anything your heart could desire. Also, if you are from my Fortnite, join the Fortnite classified group. It is growing. We will have monthly giveaways and events. Anything Fortnite related, join now. It's gonna be amazing. Once again, monthly giveaways and events. Advertise your stream, buy and sell Fortnite collectibles, find new squad mates, anything you can imagine Fortnite related. Join today. Again, thank you for joining, and see you next week for episode 3. Have a good night.